Welcome back, everybody, to the ESL Pro League Relegation. Windigo just won their first game on Mirage, and it was a fairly comfortable victory for them, I would say myself, if I was to say anything is comfortable, like a bed at a hotel, but not like a bad hotel, a good hotel that has a nice comfy pillow with feathers in. My name's Dan. Speaking of feathers, you two are not feathers at all.
No, we're not. We're humans.
Yeah, just about.
That was a great segue.
Yeah, that was a great segue.
You really transitioned perfectly.
Yeah, I tried.
I was trying to think of how I could build off that, and there really wasn't anything.
I was going to go for some sort of like bird line about like birds of prey, and then I was thinking of like ravens and stuff like that, but I thought they were just too much of a compliment for both of you.
To say that I was a raven?
Yeah.
Like, that's so raven?
That's so raven. Anyway, so game number 2, don't you zoom in on me when I'm dancing. Game number 2 is going to be Windigo versus Spirit. It's going to be Overpass, gentlemen.
Yeah.
We saw what happened on Mirage. Do we think it's going to be a similar kind of situation on Overpass, or now are we expecting Spirit to get back into things?
So Mirage was not necessarily a map that Spirit was super fond of, but the same could be said for Windigo. Both teams really loved to play Cobble, and that's obviously no longer a part of the rotation. So ultimately, you know, that first map, not necessarily a throwaway map. Obviously, you don't want to come into a series 1-0.
Yeah.
But I'd say in general, I expect better performance from Spirit, but Windigo just played really well as a team and individually. It was both. It was like their team play was great, but when they needed someone to bail them out, they also had that as well.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say right now that I think Windigo's going to continue this onto Overpass, just from what we saw yesterday against Big, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, on that match. But yeah, going up against Big yesterday, they played really well on Overpass. Unfortunately, it didn't go their way, but I think going up against a team like Spirit, they have another, well, they're the favorites in this situation, just because Big is such a powerful team, coming into MDL as the 3rd seed in the playoffs. I mean, Windigo did a really good job against them. Unfortunately, they fell. Spirit being the 7th seed and the way they just played on the previous map, I think Windigo is going to take this as well.
Well, if you think they're the favorites, let's see what the Betway odds are like. It would suggest that Windigo are the favorites as well. Mock, you agreeing with that? You agreeing with those odds?
I mean, I've historically been disappointed by things with the name Spirit. Too many vacations gone awry.
Right.
But I'd say that these odds make perfect sense.
Yeah.
I think so too, especially after that initial performance as well from Windigo. And they looked good yesterday, to be fair.
The thing about Spirit was they really only started coming alive towards the late side of their T side, and that really messed them up for their CT side at that point. So if they do start coming alive early here, they even keep it, you know, to that 8-7 half and give them a little bit of leeway room onto their second half. I mean, they could potentially take the second map, but it's all going to have to be with that starting. They can't get started off to a slow start. They need to come out of the gate swinging.
Well, let's see if they can take this second map and they can make this go all the way through to the best of 3. To run us through all of the action, we have Topical, we have Strong Legs. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thanks so much, Dan. Yes, we're here. And speaking of feathers, they completely missed out on the Windigo logo, which is an owl. Or an onion. If you take one of the ears off, it looks very much like an onion.
Our brains are just bigger.
And you're familiar with purple and black teams that have owl logos.
Oh, yeah.
Build Insomnia.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So I agree with the Betway odds. I agree with everybody else on the desk. I believe this is going to be a 2-0 for Windigo.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I think there is kind of an X factor that didn't really show up last map, but I'm hoping will show up this time around. Dafcast was sleeping with the op. I mean, if they want this map win, then he's going to need to show up.
Yeah, I think the CT side for Windigo needs to be improved. They're very, very poor on their CT side. Hopefully they're taking a page out of what they just did on Mirage and play aggressive CT, but we'll see that in the second half. Right now, Windigo's on the T side, and they're playing pretty quickly, but they've eaten a flashbang. Cody will take 2 and make his way out. All the while, looks like Demo was still peeking that angle. He falls first, and it's a 3-on-3 right now. So they are making their way in. Spellin's punching the digits in. And that'll be a retake. There is a kit still. That's going to be on Squat Vic. And he is rounding the corner looking like they now own the graffiti side of this. Windigo wanting to close these angles and make sure that these Glocks are perfect at this range. Bubble, nice 2-piece. He drops to this, but it's going to be Davcost at a 1v3 to a 1-2 now. And he's searching.
He's
only so many places they can be.
He spotted one player. There's Punisher to his left. He's tapping away. He finds one, and he knows exactly where Spellin is, but Spellin's going to fall back. You want to chase me? You're going to lose time. Dafcross goes out wide, not giving away a single bit of information, but he's actually out of time.
The kit's... Where was the kit dropped at? Squatvic dropped it over on graffiti.
Yeah,
it would have been
the CT side.
Relatively close. I think he'd be a second behind on that one.
But yeah, well played by Spellin. He understood the time situation very, very well. The bomb ticking away, but a pistol round for Windigo after a map win, never a good feeling.
So, I mean, Davcost heard him retreat back towards the short tunnel, and then heard him like break stride and make one more step. So Davkos realized he's going to hold that angle. You saw Davkos like stutter step himself, and he was reading on that audio cue of the water splashing, decided to take the peek.
Yeah.
Wins that 1v3, but he can't win the round anyways. The bomb had ticked too far, and now you've got Windigo on the advantage and a double nade towards Dav. He misses his scout shot and eats 2 nades for 50.
A nice little double scout setup too. Coldy's he has one himself. This little early damage can be dealt, but nothing this time around. Dima, though, getting so much information right now. He's going to keep it going. He's not satisfied with this information. He wants this gap. He wants to seize this opportunity. If they can get a round win right here, that'd be huge. The flashbangs out there, now they have a feeling they're either A or in connector.
Yeah, well, SDY was helping him out early on to just look for trades. But the fact that they've got him all the way up towards T-spawn now is boatloads of information. Connector is a question mark, so they could still take short into B, but you could see just from the position of Dima that the rest of the team is up towards that A site, and they're going to put all these eggs in one basket with a double scout.
Yeah, this is kind of scary right now. Davkos has spotted the leg, so he has an idea. He has a feeling this is going to end up A. They're just going to hold strong. This is actually really dangerous for Windigo.
There's the first shot. Davkos a little bit slow on that one, but Galil rounds the corner. You got 2 kills for Spirit's side. Now they're coming in close, jumping around the corners with their the UMP, and Ships will take 2, leaving it up to Coldy and Dima against Ships, who now is looking for an upgrade, but it's a moderate upgrade to the Galil. Dima hits a nice shot to the back. It just takes 2 rounds, and Team Spirit win the force buy on that second one.
Beautiful. Beautiful textbook CS from Team Spirit, getting so much information and punishing Windigo for not really leaving anyone behind to maintain that control. And now, an equal round 1 for Team Spirit. That kind of brings you alive a little bit.
And that was the push from Dima and SDY, and leaving Dima kind of embedded in the back lines of Windigo to end up on a long flank. But Windigo ain't done yet. They got CZs, they got MAC-10, and it looks like Squadfic, I thought he was going to run down the connector, but he'll just park it here, looking for some audible information. And I don't think he heard much of anything, other than maybe a flashbang or a grenade that went up towards the fountain.
Or the really, really overly loud train on this map, but we won't talk about that.
What was that?
Yeah, I can't
catch that.
Yeah, I like this from Windigo. They want to try to get body control.
Oh, what? That is so hard to do with a CZ. That's hard to do with like a scout. It's moderate with an AK. You only have so many seconds, but to hit multiple shots on that jump, disgusting.
Bubble, perfectly timed peek. He knows that if this guy doesn't spot anyone in water, he's going to keep jumping. Let me just time him out. As soon as I hear him land, I'm going to open the door and hold for him. Beautiful, nice high IQ there from Bubble.
5-on-4. Teams are split 2-2. The A team, Davkos and Squadfic, are going to be pushing aggressive to long. Davkos turns. He wanted to help, but maybe Squadfic is doing just fine by himself. But Davkos is out in no man's land. Gets peeked by them both. Bubble just rounds the corner, reloads his CZ. I don't think he had an empty magazine, but it's a 1-on-2 disadvantage to SDY until he fights for himself from a 1v3. The bomb's down. Spellin, though, is on a super long flank coming up the stairs shortly. SDY is not going to anticipate this.
At some point, though, he's going to realize, well, the timing,
oh
and SDY with the turnaround survives with 1 HP. Wow.
1v3 clutch. SDY and a 180 flick. Yeah, look at this shot from Bubble. Pop, pop. 2-piece out. The first shot was a chest shot. Second to the face. That's tough. That's tough to do. But SDY's clutch was, I'd say, more impressive than that. His timing was almost off. I mean, he looked away from the stairs and started to look towards bank, and he 180 flicked backwards.
Yeah, that's... You have to be a little bit upset by that if you're Spellin. Thought you had him dead to rights, but a nice little 180 flick of the wrist. Squadfic spots a few players. They're just going to fall back now. A little bit passive towards the A site.
Yeah, Windigo could have bought here since they did so much damage in the previous round, but they're just going to use that in the long run. When they get rifles, they'll still have some kind of advantage. And in fact, they're coming into these sites. Goldie takes them a couple bursts from the M4 to be able to knock down Bubble. 1 kill so far. Looking for a couple more. Davkos just ate a shot to the helmet as well. But Goldie, 4K on the round. Squadfic started it off with the first, and it is 3-1.
As expected. It wasn't
there was some energy coming from the stage right now.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love this atmosphere, actually. It's very competitive. Everyone's super passionate about what they do, and that makes me feel a little bit better.
Right?
Makes me feel in the zone. I love it. But
eventually you get goosebumps when you're up here casting, when it's a clutch game and some clutch situation, and it just compounds, and it's wild.
And we've had several of those games, too, so... But anyways, let's get back into this. Some AKs. Full utility. No op-up on Windigo just yet. Dafcost does have the big green. Has information. Nice little flashbang, but Spellin. Oh, that flashbang went just a little bit too long. It's an advantage gain for Team Spirit.
Yeah, that flash was only pixels covered around that corner. So nice shot. Earns them an early advantage. And I like this from Spirit. This is, I mean, we had criticized Windigo's CT side, but Spirit have been playing this aggressive CT side through the bathrooms, but too long, but it does leave bathrooms temporarily open. And you get the bomb planted on the A side. Squadfic is flanked. He's going to have eventually Punisher coming up from behind, but a flanker is being flanked. Punisher spotted the shoulder of Squadfic. He'll be able to take him down, but does he know that he got one more behind him? It's Dima. Punisher is able to deal. And he wheels that corner, and it's SDY alone, 1v3. Can he reproduce the clutch from earlier?
Nah.
Or does he call it quits?
I think he calls it quits. He doesn't have any information. He has no way to play off anything here. And he knows that they have AKs this time around. It's not quite CZs and light armor. Let me just save this weapon. If they want to chase me, I'll punish them here. I can survive, and I'll drop as soon as the bomb's going to explode. And yeah, nice round win from Windigo. They seem to be able to get all the entries that they need right now.
Yeah, that was a quicker round from Windigo. They've just managed to duck the advanced presence from Team Spirit and weasel their way into the site, only having to overcome one player and then worry about the back lines where you had players sitting in the bathrooms catching, especially from a flashbang from the site. That started it, forced him in cover, which was into the bathrooms, and just an easy shot.
Absolutely. Tactical timeout this early on.
Yeah, I mean, when the scoreline's like this, it's interesting.
Yeah, I think Team Spirit, they're contemplating a full buy. They just want to discuss what they want to do with this buy, because SDY can drop a rifle, so they only have one player on a CZ. But Coldy can buy an op, so that's interesting. Let's see if they buy up here. Squadfic will just ump up.
We saw that on Mirage. We saw the single op buy with pistols beyond that, and they were just looking to save the op in the end of the round anyway, which they did do to some decent effect. But this isn't a do-or-die situation. That was a very situational buy when you're down 7 rounds or so, and the opposing team is at the 14th and soon to be 15th anyways.
And so they have the op now. They can contest long range. Dafcost seems to be headed towards the party. Wants to get that peek on the fountain. If you can find themselves another advantage. Not this time around, though. Just going to fall back off the flashbang. And just a standard default here from Windigo. Just slowly gaining ground.
Yeah, they like their the passiveness of themselves right now. They're just chilling, even all the way back towards the fountain, using a Molotov to push Dafcost back behind and kind of restrict his field of view from party to only the top end of the connector. And a flashbang also used to make sure that they have connector control as well. So the utility usage from Windigo is perfect at making sure Dafcost can't quite get a good look anywhere. But it has cost quite a bit of utility, though Team Spirit are short on their utility anyway at this round. They're down to 2 smokes, 2 flashbangs, and we're just shy of a minute.
Yeah, and they're compensating for the lack of utility by aggressing bathrooms. And this is something that kind of was lacking on the Windigo side, so I'm glad to see Team Spirit taking a different approach here. A little bit more aggressive. They have that information flowing, and they can have that third player that rotates to A pick up their long, so they don't have to worry about that for now. 40 seconds left on the clock. Windigo hasn't really given signs that they're coming to A just yet, so at some point they're going to have to start second-guessing themselves, and the flashbangs are out now. The XQ's coming in.
Oh, here comes the bathroom push, though. Dafcost has to turn. Spellin picks up the kill. That was the support for Dafcost, but another flashbang is in. Coldy was the only player on the site with 2 players supporting in the bathrooms. It was a perfect execution from Windigo. I actually thought that it was going to be favoring Team Spirit, considering you had so many bodies so close. But there was just that utility, and they put it right to them, especially Dafcost. I think he ate 3 or 4 flashbangs that round, and they're struggling to save some guns here because Windigo now know their locations. It does cost them both Punisher and Spellin, who will have to rebuy in the next round, and also ships. Maybe ships. You call it quick. You call it quits.
Yeah, at this point, they don't have... nearly have the economy to continue risking their weapons. They need to just save. They can't afford to reset right now. They want to maintain the chokehold on Team Spirit. But yeah, I mean, it seems like Windigo is kind of doing their homework. They seem to be pretty aware, pretty high intuition on these setups. They're able to read out pretty much all the defense setups for Team Spirit at the moment. And again, double entries towards bathrooms, not a single kill going in Team Spirit's way. It's just Windigo is winning the entry game right now, and that's really netting them a lot of round wins.
Get some couple rifle rounds in a row. Team Spirit are able to hold on to 2 of those AKs at the end of this one. The 2 can't necessarily buy the 3 this time. There's just not quite enough cash in the bank. You end up with a P250 or something in there. And this is Team Spirit's round to maybe even quick save those AKs if a site is taken quickly. Nice spam through that wall. It hits SDY for nearly 40. Now Spirit are, like last round, having lack of utility, played aggressive in the bathrooms. This time having lack of weapons and utility, kind of poked around and take a peek towards the connector.
And look how much damage is dealt to Team Spirit right now. And only 54 to Punisher. They have Dima down to 34 HP. SDY at 64. Almost 100 damage dealt already into the round. For now, Windigo will remain passive. Not really going for much here. Don't mind me, just a very loud train.
It is like obnoxiously loud. I've never really noticed it until you started saying something about it. It just was background noise that was part of the game.
Yeah. But for now, Windigo's getting some control, getting bathrooms, long A. They don't have bathrooms towards short, though.
So a first kill. Victor is down and out. He'll be benched for the remainder of the round. Scoreline's even, and that's a great start for Team Spirit. A head stack to the side of the fence, or next to the sign. Bubble takes one, Spellin will take the next. Ooh, and Spellin hears them coming up the stairs. He has got his headphones cranked up to the max. Far enough away that he panics and stops the bomb plant. It's 1-on-2, Coley rounds the corner. No armor, but he survives just enough to be able to pick up that kill. Say it's a pretty successful round for Spirit right there. They only had 2 AKs on that one. They managed to kill 4 people.
What that was that was pretty well read by the bomb planter. Tapping the bomb, recognizes that they have a gap, and his teammate is so far away that he did not want to be caught with the bomb in his hand, so he just tapped the bomb, took out his AK, mollied out the choke point, and 2 players ran through it. The first player, okay, he didn't take that much damage from the molly, but the second player, he was way too late to go off that molly.
He's overdone.
And he punished both of them for it. The round that Team Spirit desperately needed. That's not a mistake they could have afforded to make, and now they're going for fast water control. Spellin has that already.
That smoke that Spellin just dropped, every time that's thrown, I just think that smoke's going to bounce over the molly. Every time.
They fixed that, didn't they?
Allegedly. I don't trust it. Some things are like you've been bitten too many times and you just never trust it ever again. Oh, Bubble's about to take this peek. Scary peek. It's going to have to take either a quick flick or a very snappy shot. Quick reactions regardless. Flashes there. Yeah, he overcompensates on the shift to the right. Squadfix able to take that first frag. That's a big piece of firepower down. In fact, that double op can be used for the CT side on Overpass quite effectively.
And the lack of A pressure is going to allow Team Spirit to kind of start shifting back towards B here. They're going to need to, Windigo's going to need to go fast if they want to catch the defense weak right now, but Dima's the next line of defense.
Well, Dima rounds the pillar. SDY gives him some support. Ships helping the opposing team right now. Was 4-on-2, now 3-on-2. Ships is trying to right the ship. Punisher picks up another frag and an additional, and somehow Windigo have a man advantage after a team kill on entry.
And Punisher.
Listen to that.
I mean, I'd be pretty excited after that round too. Ships shooting his teammate, and Punisher comes and swings back 3 kills off that.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm Team Spirit, I'm kind of starting to shake a little bit. We're losing a lot of situations that we should be able to capitalize on.
Well, have typically been strong on their T-side overpass. Their CT side overpass, it is night and day. We've made some indications of what they could do or should do to improve their CT side, and I think we saw that improvement on Mirage. We saw them playing aggressive. If they weren't aggressive mid was taken away from them, they were aggressive somewhere else, at least for some information.
Never playing in the dark.
Yeah, never sit back and relax, because that's what they had trouble with on their overpass.
Absolutely. And yeah, it seems like Windigo has done their homework. I want to say that again, because Bubble, I mean, he still died towards long A, but he felt it even before he peed that, hey, they could be here. They're not tree, but they know that if he's Bicycle, there's an Opera all the way back. He tries to flash off the Opera. Didn't work out for him that time around, but still, nice read. And this time,
that. Ships just checked for the triple stack. He looked for it.
And soon he's going to realize there's no one here. No one's home. B's open, everyone.
Yep. You got 2 players that are watching the back lines, because we've seen Windigo get hit pretty hard from CT aggression, pushing all the way through short tunnel, all the way to T-spawn, eventually coming in for a long flank. So Windigo are making good corrections on the fly.
They're going to need to.
Nice crossfire setup. Through the door and all the way across, down connector. And you've got ships hunting, searching, wishing and waiting for a CT to be out in front of him. Oh, he's spotted one. Hopefully he doesn't get tunnel vision on this one. Davkos was sending his USP shots over the bow. Didn't quite hit much of anything. He took 6 damage, and Ships is just using 2 bullets apiece for everybody.
I love Ships' movement there. It's very fluid, avoiding different angles, isolating targets. But finds himself 3 kills with a MAC-10. That's a lot of money, and only a MAC-10 in armor lost.
Yeah, and that's so that's a good positive for them. And as well, Team Spirit were like sitting back on A, not even wanting to give any kill reward to them at all. So what it started initially with a good peek and a possible double op setup for Spirit has been pushed back into a rifle round now, which could be 7 for Windigo if they take this, and likely the 8th. But we've seen this same situation before where Windigo are doubling up on their opponent's rounds. It's just that Team Spirit have just been playing catch-up for so long, they have to be tired of it at this point.
Yeah, it's very rare that they get into a huge economic lead so far into this BO3 series. And yeah, I mean, Team Spirit not only need round wins at this point, but they need, like, convincing round wins. They can no longer afford to lose more than
rounds.
2 players per round win right now, at least for 2 rounds in a row.
Yeah,
until
I'd
the
say
money
Spirit
breaks.
needs to win out if they want to be confident in the next half. Hopefully they've looked and figured out that they can abuse Windigo's CT side. Maybe 3 rounds is enough, because we've seen Windigo go winless on their CT half anyways. Victor, point of entry, and Dima's been playing this angle before. Flashbang a little bit too deep. I believe it went through Victor's legs, and the trade's there. And you might have a save, almost a beautiful thread of a shot for Davkos to hit the bomb carrier on his way into the site. But yes, the bomb is planted. 7355608, and Coldy and Davkos head for the hills.
Yeah, entering is the name of the game right now for Windigo. Consistent double entries with no returns. That's, at some point, how do you even fix that problem? Do you need just a good support player supporting these players on the CT side? Do you need a more well-established setup? Because right now they seem to be getting double entered consistently.
Yeah, they lose the player over towards the grate, and then you've got Dima that's on the pillar. I mean, one thing that's consistent here is Spirit have been able to save rifles when they want to save rifles, and they've been still drawing blood from Windigo every time that happens.
Ships?
Oh! Just a couple more frames is all that was needed. Crosshair was on target. 3-7. Team Spirit able to save the op, and they buy back into this round, just to make sure that that op has something to work with. So it's M4s, they got a FAMAS in there. The utility, though, is shy. Squatvic has none of it.
Yeah, and 1 kit, if that falls in the wrong spot, topical, that could be a problem.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, if they enter the site and Coley dies, you might just not even retake.
Yeah. Stay wide. Supporting his teammate towards water right now. And this is a fast monster play. Windigo once again. B is open, everyone. Come inside. This is an all-you-can-eat buffet right now for Windigo.
It's just a different strat. They're playing retake intentionally on this. So they're going to now play this as terrorists entering into the B site. Dima just catches one, I believe, to the leg. He'll be dropped down to 16, as it looks like a return fire is there. But they're trying to get cheeky to see if there's one extra player to be picked off because it's a target-rich environment. You expect some players to be over towards Toxic. You expect it. Oh, it's a save.
This is a save.
A no casualty round is possible.
I haven't seen this in a while.
You've got Coldy up above, I believe.
Have you seen this in? I feel like I haven't never seen this.
I've seen it on, not usually on Overpass. I'll see it on Cobblestone.
A 5-on-5 save?
Yes.
Really? On a gun round?
More often than gun rounds, it'll happen if it's a force buy with CZs.
Okay. Yeah. See, if you get pistol armor, you can 5-man save. But I've never seen it on a full gun round.
Yeah, that's strange. All right, first for everything.
I do again. Has Windigo is their playbook well rehearsed on Team Spirit? Because I mean,
I don't know. I feel like they just got that one round where they entered in quickly through Monster Tunnel, and they're like, that wasn't so bad.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, the water's fine. Yeah. And Victor will always lead the way. And I mean,
because I mean, even on the post plant, right?
Yeah.
Not a single player was exposed to that boost in water. So were they anticipating that perhaps?
Maybe.
Yeah, I wonder. Now this time around, they say, all right, we've been taking B so many times. We've conditioned Team Spirit to play B heavy. Let's try our luck towards A. Let's be Canadians and go A.
Maybe. I mean, they're sitting way back right now. And I guess they won't have to back up and punt if they're already back on the 1-yard line. They're just chilling, using flashbangs, annoying Dima, who's in short right now. But advanced positions are what Team Spirit have been doing all game. And I can't believe it's only netted them 3 rounds so far.
Davkos finally gaining the advantage for his team with the op. 5v4 now. Still a minute left on the clock, and they're holding long bathrooms this time around. Vic, he cannot die to bubble here. Ships finds 1, Ships finds 2. Again, a double entry with not a single kill going in their way. Now, Dima's trying to recover from this round. He's up against Ships. He finds 1 with the help of Coldy.
It's bomb as well. And that Molotov was only temporary to slow the guys down coming up. But Dima's been on the front lines. He gets 2. He has 3 on the round, but now it's Davkos 1v1 against Spellin. And plenty of time on the board for the backup and punt. This time from Spellin. It is Op versus AK. And it was really Spellin that's just going to reset towards A and put a question mark over Davkost's head if he should head downhill. I mean, the Op across heaven is a really strong position, but now he can hear footsteps. Spellin has to have seen that. I don't know if he intended to jump, because he saw him when he crossed, but he jumped. That may have just been like a mouse wheel, and that one mouse wheel just click.
No, I think one of his teammates may have called that he may have spotted him, so he's jumping to see if he actually did spot him or not, because he can kind of see him on the edge of his screen. But I mean, Spellin had the time. He wasn't forced to run and give away the audible. He could have just continued to play the confusion game on.
Well, you're up against Davkos. If you're gonna walk, slow peek a corner, if Davkos is staring at it, you die. Maybe he's just trying to race car peek it.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, nice attempts. Still 8-4 lead for Windigo. Team Spirit, money's not looking so hot.
Yeah, 1 survivor on that round. Luckily enough, you saved the op. Nice flashbang. Multi-flashes that came in. Actually, Dima was firing, but Davkos had the op over the shoulder. And they'll continue to abuse the monster push and wisely just back up, collect their winnings. And this leaves Windigo in short, 2 players down, and now eating more utility. Flashbangs gave him the kills out monster, grenades starting to put those next kills up on a pedestal.
And Dima finds Victor, and that's 5v2 now. Ships is trying anything to gain an advantage here. He knows 1 player is towards barrels. If he can maybe isolate these targets, that could work out. Dima's forced behind the pillar. Another molly now to push him off the angle. Ships, that's 1. Still, though, 2-man advantage for Team Spirit.
Windigo have done this before on the last map, being outnumbered 2-4, and now they make it a 2-3. So it'd be a heartbreaker for Spirit. And starting into this 2vx, I was thinking all Windigo need are kills. They know Team Spirit's money is very, very just neutered at this point. They go for the bomb plant in the smoke. Punisher watches the short side. It's 2-on-2. Even Steven, and they're able to egress out of the site. Ships is going over towards the great side of this, and he'll find solace. Now it's up to Team Spirit, Squadfic and Davkos to retake. Squadfic searches. Looks like Punisher is down and out, or sorry, Ships is down and out. Punisher is left. The bomb was touched, so Punisher has to peek it. Almost wins that fight. A 2v what? 4? 2v5?
2v5.
Ends up 2v2 and almost opportunity to win the round.
Yeah, and the bomb plan for Windigo helps out a lot too. This is a very important tactical timeout from Team Spirit, because if they lose this round, this is easily a 10-5 half for Windigo. The money is not looking good. This is the final investment for Team Spirit, unless they can win this round. Davkos can drop some weapons to help out a little bit. They can get full utility on some of the players. I mean, maybe even most of the players. But again, this is their final investment here. Windigo, they have the money. They can pretty much buy out for the rest of this half, really, especially if they continue getting bomb plants. And they have full utility. But this time around, they're going for 5 AK, so I wonder if they're going to do a fast play this time instead of a standard default with op.
I wouldn't doubt it if Windigo just go straight over to that B site and do a fast push. They know Dima has been just constantly playing close on the pillar. You saw that abuse in the last round where it was 2v5 and they throw the Molotov on the left side of the pillar and force him out right. He's been there round after round after round. Windigo have the B team's number.
They really do. They really have a great feeling for it.
But good on Team Spirit to just put things together in the second quarter here to pick up a handful more rounds. It's not a great CT half yet. If they can win out, by all means, I'd say they've recovered their momentum and they've recovered the mental fortitude to go into the second half.
At this time, Windigo showing some heavy presence towards water and B side at the moment. And it looks like they're setting up for a double graffiti smoke exec. Just going to block off anyone deep. Ships finds the entry frag. There's still 2 players on site. He gets taken out by SDY. Dima finds one of his own, but they're actually rotating towards A site. And soon Team Spirit will realize this and send their players back to reinforce them.
Well, Davkos spotted Spellin. Oh, but Spellin takes that frag. It'll be traded and an advantage still to Spirit. The bomb can be planted here and Spirit can just let them do this and work for a retake together. They got all kits. No grenades, though. Now, Punisher has 2 flashbangs to keep these 3 guys, their heads down and in cover. But my goodness, have they fallen all the way back? Or at least Punisher has. It's going to be Bubble alone on this front side of this until some support comes. But maybe Bubble's all that's needed.
Double flashes come out. Bubble not able to get a single kill off those double flashes from Punisher. And now he's in a 1v2, and Squat Vic with the op on top of the default box finds that support, covering his teammate for that defuse, and they net themselves a very important round win. 8-6 now.
Yeah, I think Spirit have won like 3 in a row, and Windigo still have $6,000 to buy into this round. They've had some serious cash influx.
Yeah.
They're into the last round. They get a full buy anyways, and Spirit rebuy too. So I'm glad we get to have some fireworks on the last round of the half.
Yeah, I actually like that. I feel like it's been a while since we've seen a huge gun run on the final round.
Yeah, usually it ends up down towards like a force buy. Oh, that splits the wickets. Right in between Victor and company, that being ships. They make their way into the playground. And Windigo are doing that 1 yard line strat. Stay way back, make up the ground later in the round.
Yeah, and Team Spirit, they're going for a bit of a different approach. Still not quite as passive on site, but not quite contesting towards bathrooms or towards connector, which we haven't really seen them do much. Pretty much been giving up connector almost every single round. Now Windigo is pretty heavy, bunched up together. The Wolf Pack making its way onto A, gaining some ground towards here, and soon they're going to come into contact with the crossfire setup and the bait setup for Spirit.
Yeah, I thought Squad Fic would have been able to hear them. They were still sprinting into the bathrooms, but Davkos is giving him support. Squad Fic is anti-flash. Bubble on the soon-to-be shoulder peak over top of this one, standing on his teammate's head. Over top of the flowers, just pixels were there. Davkos realized there's a few more pixels there than there should be. A slow peek from Bubble nets them the first. Victor with the second. Victor will just continue to entry into here. It looks like Spellin actually has made his way through the bathrooms on a shortcut. And it is very fast. You had a quick rotation in there for Team Spirit into the A site, but it was just one after another. The snowball kept rolling, picking up more steam.
Yeah. It seems like as soon as they get one entry, they instantly have an idea of the setup. They instantly know there's a player in the corner. They're going to check for him right away. But I'm actually very impressed by that little cheeky boost. It was all the way back, only peeking his head through the little bushes. That's kind of hard for the CT side to spot.
That is, yeah, and he just slow peeked it, but you saw Davkos realize that something had changed. It was just in the flowers. It was,
I don't remember Valve adding animation.
It was just a Jurassic Park where he like realizes that there's one somewhere else. Say, oh no, life's over. 9-6, a good T-half.
Great T-half.
But Spirit's not out of this.
For sure.
Classically, yesterday as well included, Windigo have had awful CT sides. Terabad, especially when it was against Big. They didn't win a single round. So Spirit could easily tie this game, pistol round +2, and then just straight into it with rifles. We'll see, but we're into the first round of the second half.
Once again, a passive setup again from Windigo to start us off, but Spellin's gotten some information. This might prompt some rotations out of them, but right now, Team Spirit have 5 players that are ready and hungry. And about to go towards A site. Spellin catches another one towards long. They've not quite committed yet. Now the XU's coming through. Spellin tapping away, finds the first frag.
All right, Spellin's got that one. He's still alive. He's going to slow these guys down. Dima is able to knock him out of this one. Flashbangs making players rub their eyes a little bit. But as they clear him, they're like, oh goodness, Coldie just came in and steamrolled us. Coldie now plants the bomb on the Optimus truck, and you've got an outnumbered Windigo team. Armor, no kit. Gonna need to make this pretty. Bomb's not planted for the bathrooms typically though, but they've got the first looking for the handful more, and it ain't gonna happen, I don't think. Not from Victor. Fresh magazine in, 1v2 with 9 HP. Just needs the headshots. And Team Spirit is amped. They are way louder than Windigo. Windigo are pretty settled in.
I thought that was Windigo that was
No.
I thought that was Team Spirit that was yelling, but it's actually Swole Patrol.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
That was good
I think
timing.
they probably beat Torx in the BO3. I wonder.
I was about
Anyways.
to say, it's a pistol round in the second half. Calm down, guys.
Yeah. Jesus. Okay, okay. We're back. We're back. I love the environment though. It's awesome.
Yeah, two lanes are great.
But yeah. And save round from Windigo, forced by, I should say, I guess. Deagle, CZ's a scout in the hands of Spellin, and long gate setup. And 2 men towards the B site for Windigo.
7-9. 3-round lead to start things off. Whittled to 2. Forced by for Windigo could either mean it's back to 3 or quickly tied. As your CTs are advanced on long A. And it's unfortunate because I thought initially Spirit were going to start to head towards the B site with this quick push. They had 3 players that just routed out the bottom of the stairs and connector, and it looks like Squat Vic throws a flashbang and is about to be greeted by a multitude of, well, just bubble is all that was needed, but he's got teammates out behind him that may have done 20-some damage. Now they go downhill, realizing that there was a lot of action on long, and they're going to run into another CZ. The pistols are supreme. The bomb is down. Reinforcements are coming, and there's a fresh CZ mag, and Punisher hiding underneath Coldie's right-handed model. It's SDY alone in a 1v3 now.
And not only a 1v3, but it's 19 HP. The bomb is going down. He has that at least going for him, but they have a kit. Victor bought a kit. This is not looking good right now for Team Spirit. SDY is struggling right now. He needs something desperately, but Windigo understand they need to stick together. As long as they don't get multi-frag, this is it.
I don't know, SDY, he's going to hear the bomb. Does he sit, save his gun, touched again?
I don't think he's expecting them to have a kit, so he's probably just playing the 10-second timer, but no, SDY.
Smart move, yeah, you're right. Man, they got a kit on their force buy round. Yeah. Darn you, Victor. But I was thinking maybe you just stick around and watch those AKs that were dropped there in short and make sure that nobody ends up with those in hand, which that ends up happening anyway. Now you got some M4s being purchased up from Windigo's side.
And if they come for it, punish them for it, but
yep.
19 HP is a little bit of a struggle. They're going to go for the force buy, though. They're not going to save off that. And they have an AK in the hands of Cold, who's been pretty sick on the T side so far. STY has the AK saved, and they have an to work with. But Scout, Deagle in the hands of Dima. It's enough firepower to do something. That's Scout damage early on to Spellin will definitely help.
It's a stinger. Another Scout hit. Spellin's at 30, but look at all the health that it was cost for Team Spirit. The AK spray down. SDY runs dry. If he had one more bullet, he'd have had him. Now Bubble will take that AK, put it to good use. It's even on the body count right now, but your CTs are a little bit worse for wear. Spellin has a Scout round embedded into his chest. Bubble has a couple 7.62s from the AK stuck in there as well.
Yeah, the CTs are a little bit field tested right now. Not quite minimal wear, but soon they might become well worn.
Battle scarred. I want to see Davkos round the corner after somebody entries and he's just able to stare up into heaven and just, I want to see a laser beam in between the eyes.
Yeah. It's going to be awkward now because it seems like most players are playing pretty far back, except for Bubble, of course.
The entries. They're crouching out, down. I don't think they've been spotted yet. There it is. Squadfic has the first one. Victor trying to duck underneath. It's a very quick execution. Here's the flank. Bubble biding his time, breaks his stride, staring at Davkos. Has one, almost has two, and he's got him. Now it's down to a 1-on-2 for Dima. Excellent work from Bubble right there. He almost pulled that trigger. You could see he stopped his movement and then was like, wait a second.
I can get
Let's
two.
see if I can find
get
two. And as soon as he saw that second one, he went 1-2 punch.
Yeah, he had a pretty fast flank for having water control. So he's like,
you're right.
He's like, it's gonna take at least 5 more seconds before their internal clock's like, hey, check your back real quick. I mean, let me get the second player. That was beautiful played, and Spellin able to survive even though he got scouted early on. A bit of a mistake from Dima that could have been easily a 1v1 in his favor, but a little bit of a panic spray. No shots hit. Spellin able to win that, and the round win for Windigo. That was so important for Team Spirit to get. They had that.
I like, you mentioned that as an internal clock. It absolutely is an internal clock. Something in your brain just clicks. Okay, it's been long enough. Someone could be wrapping all the way around me to the backside. But yeah, you're right. He was actually, he was audibly heard, but it was still in the confusion of the round. So now you've got pistols for Team Spirit side. Done some good work. Starting to drop some bodies though, and they've only got chest armor on Coldy, who burned for 30. And he's gonna sprint ahead. Race car as he may be, he's now dropped. And Windigo are really just catching him like a net. Initially giving them resistance at the beginning of the bathrooms. Mid-bathrooms, they've got another kill. They back up to all the way back to the site. They pick up another kill.
And this is something that they were struggling with yesterday. They weren't doing this at all. They were playing passes straight from early round. So now they're contesting bathrooms. They say, we have the weapons. Why are we scared?
Yeah.
Let's pretend this is Mirage. Let's pretend this is trained. This is what we do on these rounds. Why are we doing any differently? And Punisher just chasing right now. Chasing for these kills. He's picked up SDY. He's going for that second on Squatfic. And that is going to be 2 SMG kills for him. Money looking pretty good right now for Windigo. And Team Spirit will be back on the bye here.
So this is a critical round for Team Spirit. They were in virtually the same situation on Mirage, actually in a worse spot. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember the scoreline was like 8-15. So Team Spirit have a little bit of extra breathing room compared to what it was on Mirage. But this rifle round, if they lose this one, especially without a bomb plant, it's going to start to get a little sketchy. Their then buys, whether their utility is purchased or not, whether they go for rifles or SMGs with the grenades, is going to be influenced in the coming rounds because of how this round plays.
No, yeah, absolutely. The room for error is definitely slowly slipping away here from Team Spirit. Wind is Indigo on their way to win. Too much, too forced.
My brain was sitting there and like, was that a pun? I'm not sure if that was a pun or not. I'll give it to him.
I tried. Basically a father these days. Anyways.
Dad jokes, the greatest.
Of course.
So Team Spirit are back, and Windigo are kind of in their mid-aggression presence. So the last round we talked about catching Spirit in the net. That started at the front of bathrooms. Now they're like mid-bathrooms. But we've seen this before. Team Spirit should know how to play against a setup like this because they played this setup quite a few times. Previously, if this was the other side of the coin, Spellin would have some support from an Opera that's at the armored truck, the APC. This time, though, he's alone, and he'll take the first. But this is a tough spot to get out of if you're Spellin without help. He needs a flashbang to come over the bathrooms from inside here, but it's only Punisher left, and he has to keep his MP9 on his shoulder. Has the advantage, sees the shadow, turns to the next one. Where are these bullets going? He made a cardboard cutout of Coldy. He only did 40-some damage, and it is now a 2-on-2. Victor hops his way into the site. The bomb's being planted, not in the default position. Oh, but he sees him on the edge of it, 1-on-1.
The bomb has been denied. They've won as long as he doesn't die here.
The shot missed. Oh, and he clocks him. He clocks him at the end, too. He dies after the fact. Davkost was either saying, I hit this shot, or please take me before the time expires. And it's Davkost. Your Opper is rewarded with no money.
$300. This could be it. I think that was the swing to push Windigo over the edge.
I mean, I was thinking that, Spirit may have 2 or 3 more like rifle rounds, depending if they win 1 or so. But now it's questionable. It's going to be 1 or 2, and Davkost is going to have a donation of an op. And they're just playing a faster round right now with some pistols. There's a kill. All right. You knock down Bubble. There's going to be a weapon for them to be able to recover. It's an M4.
Yeah, they have at least a rifle to work with now. They have some armor. They have some upgraded pistols. They're not completely out of this round. I'm surprised Dafkos is keeping this weapon, though, because he's the only unarmored. So, yeah, you might need to switch that out. But
yeah,
4-on-4.
For sure.
Still a lot of utility in the hands of Windigo at the moment. They still have Spellin up with the op, and they can just leave him there by himself on the A site.
You could see Scott Fick was like, give me that.
Yeah.
He's just staring at It's funny when you talk to a player out like through comms,
yeah,
you look at
each other. Yeah.
It's really strange. So they're entering now. The M4 is trying to at least be the more accurate weapon, but the pistols were doing just as fine as well. Davkos with his CZs getting... This is possible for Squatfic. 1v1 now, and it's against the op, which is miles away, I believe. No, he's actually underneath the A site staring down. The bomb will be planted. He'll recognize that it's got to be planted over towards the sandbag side. But with 36 HP, if Spellin wants to do this with a USP, it's going to take 2 shots.
And Spellin just waiting patiently in heaven. He's taken a lot of damage from that. This round just became a lot more doable. And he fell out of heaven and took even more damage. He's now one-hittable. Spellin trying to be as patient as possible, trying to play the mind games with Squatfic, but he's giving away the audibles now. And Squatfic peeks out the left side of the pillar and takes down Spellin. And that is such an important round for Team Spirit to get a forced buy out of all rounds.
Yeah. I mean, that happens more often than I care to admit. If you're on an anti-eco and you're playing split up and you give them 1 rifle, for some reason, it's like the movies where the antagonist is up against like 500 just baddies. For some reason, when there's more bad guys, it gets easier.
Yeah.
You know, you kill that one guy, you only have 1 rifle. There's your antagonist. Suddenly, it is a death wish for the CT side. Spellin, though, nice timing on the flashbanged shot. That takes down Davkost, who is, in the past 3 rounds, kind of having a depressing series being clocked and not seeing his op.
Yeah. It's a bit unfortunate for him. Spellin losing a clutch and opening up the next round. That helps a little bit. That helps a little bit. 5v4, minute and 20 seconds left on the clock. Not really much gain here for Team Spirit. They're starting to finally make some room towards connector, towards A site with the smokes and some utility being used towards brackets. Besides that, though, seem to be favoring B right now. Bomb's still there. They have 4 players towards the B side now.
I thought Coldy was going to hit that. The timing of the jump when he opened that door, it was almost to a pre-fire situation. Squatfic is just eating bullets. He's tanking them.
Oh, look at Victor.
Survives. Oh, yeah. Victor above and behind. Flashbang, too. He actually overpasses Dima. But in the confusion, Victor still takes 2. 4-on-1. It's a stretch for Coldy. The bomb is down towards Monster. It's been mollied out with 30-some seconds. They're going to hand him 1.
Kind of unnecessary there from Punisher. He'll be punished for that. 1v3. Needs to find 1 more. Victor's out in the open. He gets hurt, but the support is coming in. Coldy's found another, but Spellin is not going to make the same mistakes as his teammates. Will close out that round. Nice trade from him. 14-8. And look at the money, Topical.
Yeah, it's rough. But those peaks toward the end, especially the first peak on short, you just mollied short.
Yeah.
Peeking short, unnecessary. Then he goes over, it catches Victor in rotation over towards the surf wall, kills him, and both players line up to try and catch him. Those peaks, those last 2 players to peek him, those were warranted because you're catching him in transition. There's 20 seconds on the clock. He could still win it. If you go passive back towards the site, he fakes the bomb plant once. He could end up winning the round. So that was sketchy from Windigo.
Absolutely.
Still end up taking the round. It cost them a little bit more than they were anticipating. And in fact, that pushes their money into a pretty awkward spot themselves. So if Windigo lose this round, which we've seen them lose rounds before on force buys, Spirit can take this one and the next.
Still a long way to go for Team Spirit, though. There are 8 rounds. They'll have to win 7 rounds in a row. 8 rounds in a row if they want to win. 7 for overtime, but yeah, set play coming out from Team Spirit. 5 men early on towards the B site. Water control coming out. Utility being used towards water, but it seems like this is a rush. B, this is so risky. Victor.
He misses his shots, and he's overwhelmed. Now Ships' UMP comes in. He gets 2, somehow. Must have been a casualty or a bystander on the side, but it is SMGs for the most part. They're doing all the legwork and through the smoke. 90 damage to Squatfic. And a 3-on-2, and there is a flank. Punisher will finish what Bubble started. Bombs down in the middle of the tunnel. He's got one. Nice double peek again. Windigo have just been working their peaks together very well in the past couple rounds.
Yeah, the communication right now is definitely flowing. You can kind of feel it in their energy too. Haven't really heard Team Spirit much, so they're definitely a little bit lower on the energy spectrum. But 15-8, this is match point. This is not even map point anymore, Topical. This is match point. They need one more round from winning to play, which I believe was AGO versus Envious. So the winner of this match will play Envious for a spot in Pro League.
That's right.
It's a big title.
Windigo's got a pretty good look at it too. Team Spirit have a really long road. They need to win 7 in a row, force it to overtime, win it, and then go into a third map, which is a road less traveled. Ships has used this one-way smoke before, but that's the first time he's actually seen somebody with it.
Yeah.
Didn't finish the job, but hits a pretty solid target that has head armor.
Hey, 73 damage for free, taking 0 back. That's... I wish that was more of a stat. I wish more somebody came up with a stat officially. Damage done versus damage received. I feel like it'd be very telling. Either way, Lurk smoke out towards long. Seems like Team Spirit wants to favor A on potentially the final round of this matchup. Let's see what happens here.
All right. Do or die for Team Spirit. They got time on the board, but Spellin is just firing through the smoke. He does connect. Colby through and catches Bubble while reloading. Cost 2 bodies to plant that bomb. Now they got to hold on with no utility. Pistols are here. Davkos can pick up a gun. He's got a rifle hurt off, but he has to reload it. I don't know if it was dry. It's rare to see that. Squadpick does his best with a P250 against 3 players, but instead it is Windigo. Takes it in a 2-0 fashion.
Wow. I kind of expected that.
Yeah.
I feel like after the first map, it seemed like Windigo was kind of in their element. But yeah.
Well, I mean, I love Windigo's CT side this way. Aggressive. Huge change from yesterday. So they obviously looked at how they were playing Overpass and realized they needed to make a fundamental change to how they were doing it.
Absolutely.
And that's what you need to do if you're going to make it to the Pro League. You need to be able to make these decisions on the fly.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge difference.
So, I mean, congratulations to Windigo. Spirit knocked out. This was the lowers. So Windigo will have to play now AGO, as you mentioned earlier. Envious. Yeah. Envious, as you mentioned earlier. The winner of that advances to the Pro League.
And Envious wasn't really in great form either. So, I mean, Windigo's in a pretty good opportunity to get that title. I think that's their first time, too.
Yeah, well, this Windigo is a completely different team today than they were yesterday, hands down.
Absolutely.
And I have high hopes for them now. Like Windigo was, what are they? They're actually seed 1. Yesterday, they did not look like a seed 1 coming out of the Mountain Dew League. Now, today, they represented that.
I 100% agree.
So, to talk about more of this game, and to talk about the next coming games in the future, back to Dan at the desk.
Thank you very much. It seems like something is in the air, but it certainly does not smell like Team Spirit. Instead, it is Windigo who will move forward to have their chance at playing for the European Pro League. Gentlemen, it wasn't the prettiest game of Counter-Strike, but there were some highlights, there were some cool moments, and what matters is Windigo, they got the job done. They came here with a plan, and they executed it well.
Yeah, I mean, for me, basically what we saw from Windigo was Spirit, they had that really good eco round really early on, and I thought that was where the momentum was going to switch in their favor, and they would get off to a really strong start on their first half. But unfortunately for Windigo, I mean, Windigo goes ahead as soon as we hit the gun rounds, they just start taking over. They go on a huge round streak. Finally, towards the end of the CT half for Spirit, we finally see some aggression out of them. They do the monster push in round 13, actually get themselves in a really great spot. But other than that, I mean, Spirit, they had a hard time for most of it. I mean, even this pistol round was phenomenal out of Spellland, just the way he played it, delaying it for as long as he can, no time on the bomb. Overall, I mean, Windigo had a great game.
Oh,
yeah,
dirty shot.
That was a nice shot. Yeah.
I mean, in general, it did feel like similar to the first map, where Windigo is outplaying their opponent, and they're in a position where Windigo players were able to bail them out when necessary.
Yeah.
And again, I got to look at Ships, who we're looking at right now. Like, Ships played so well. So far, all tournament long, Ships has really been like a player to watch from Windigo, whereas he was more of a question mark coming in. Like, we knew we would see big performances from Victor and Bubble, the duo. They're really good together. This is a great example of that play, and we'll see the same thing from Victor probably very soon, where he was, kind of coasting on the wall, allowing them through Monster. Like, we expect to see consistent play from them, but Ships was the question mark, and he's no longer a question when he's an answer.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of showed on Windigo's T side. You saw how slow they were playing, how methodical and pressured. This is Victor's round right here, where he surfs all the way up behind 2 of the players, picks up an easy flank kills. I mean, so essentially on Windigo's T side, there was one really big round that I'd like to point out. They were taking long A control. I believe it was round 15, and they realized that, hey, we haven't really made a lot of contact at long. We haven't made too much contact towards bathroom. They're probably spotting from back in sight towards the APC and A. So what they do is they go ahead and they do that old, it's a couple seasons old now, that boost towards long A, where you don't actually get up onto the ledge to peer over into the site, but you just kind of boost behind it and only give them a headshot angle. Takes that, finds an easy kill to open up the round for his team. And I mean, things like that made the difference in the match. Just a little patience and saying, hey, I'm not going to take this by myself. I'm going to get my teammate involved, and we're going to figure out a way to do it together. Ships UMP as well to secure overtime. We saw Spirit just plow B on that round, come in, they get the entry kill, and then we were talking about how huge Ships has been. I mean, he's left in the open on that catwalk, pulls out his UMP, picks up 2 kills, goes down, but that allows the flank to now develop. And yeah, Windigo played an amazing CT.
I do like seeing things like the surfing situation, and you can obviously run boost as well to get on that side of Monster so that they can't see you when they're coming through. I feel like players, they just think, nah, there's not going to be someone there. Surely they wouldn't have had time to do this.
I mean, we saw that earlier today, right, in that Envy game, where Haji gets behind the spindles, and we're like, there's no way they check this, because typically speaking, you wouldn't, because you wouldn't expect somebody to be there. And yet they did, and it stopped a big play from happening. So it's kind of just like having this awareness that someone could be somewhere that you least expect them, checking everything, and that's what it boils down to.
Sometimes you can't check everything, though, which is a shame. But what we can check out is we can check out the bracket as it has been updated. We can see how it's all played out. AGO Esports did qualify for the European side of Pro League, but it's going to be Team Envy versus Windigo that now have that chance to battle for that second spot. As a reminder, it was Envy and AGO who were in the relegation, so we could quite well just have 2 more Pro League teams back in the Pro League, but it will be Windigo trying to get their chance in. We also have the North American bracket as well. That's going on the Bravo stream. Complexity, they secured their spot in the NA Pro League, excuse me. But it's Talked and Swole Patrol that are currently going up against each other, with Swole Patrol taking a 1-0 lead right now. The winner of that will face up against Splice. It's exciting times, gentlemen. Do you think we're going to be seeing maybe 2 Pro League teams getting back, or do you think that Windigo performance, maybe they can actually take down Envy? Because I think they're looking pretty hot.
Yeah, I think that Windigo right now look a lot better than Envy did in their first map, or their first series today. Envy looked very, very disconnected, very sloppy. It felt like pieces of the puzzle just flat out weren't there. So unless Envy can get a resolution between the games, I do think that Windigo can take it. And then looking at the other side, the North American side, Splice is currently playing with a stand, and Davey unfortunately is sick, so they're playing with their coach Ellie. It's like just what can you do? There's nothing you can do about it. So I think that, yeah, Splice could lose to either one of those teams. Like, Swole Patrol's been playing really well. Even though they didn't win that second decider to make it directly into Pro League, they took it to the brink with E United. They obviously took map 1 over Torque, which was a bit of a surprise on Torque's map pick. So, and it's a weird series too. Overpass, Train, and Nuke in an NA match. Like, who would have ever thought that we'd see that? So ultimately, I can see Swole Patrol beating Torque, Torque beating Swole Patrol, and then either one of them beating Splice.
Ooh, so maybe we've got some interesting things to come forward for the rest of the day. Well, that's a little teaser for what is to come on both our stream, the main stream, and the Bravo stream as well. We are going to take a short break, but when we come back, we, of course, need to find another team to get into that EU Pro League. Is it going to be the likes of Envy, or is it going to be the likes of Windigo? We don't know, but we want to find out. We're hoping for a nice, close, tight affair. We'll be seeing that one right after this break.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by